The American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson is known to have said that nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. And in fact, in my own life and in those that I watch and the clients that I serve, I oftentimes see that enthusiasm trumps your ability to, your knowledge, your wisdom, your physical skills. It's the enthusiasm that drives us toward where we want to go. It can oftentimes be that one element that gets us to break through to what we really want to achieve. Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Enthusiasm. You know, when I think about that word, several years ago I went to a concert with my son Jason to see one of his favorite musical artists, David Gray. Now, David Gray wasn't on the top of my musical list by any means. I had known a couple of his songs and thought maybe I could sing along to Repo Man. But when we went to go see him, number one, the stadium was full. And I was surprised by that, number one. But after he started playing, I understood why. The level of enthusiasm that he brought to his work and his ability to get the audience engaged into the music was like something I'd never seen. And I went in being mildly interested in him, and I left a huge fan. And it was because of the level of enthusiasm he brought to his work. You know, I looked him up a little bit afterwards, and his first album came out in 1993. So some 30 years later, he's probably performing the same songs he's performed thousands of times, but he was doing it with the enthusiasm of doing it almost for the first time. And that really made me think about how enthusiasm has positively impacted my life. In fact, gets me thinking about another musical artist that I saw about 27, 28 years ago when I was contemplating leaving my corporate job and opening up my martial arts studio. And when I saw this person sing, she had such a level of spirit and enthusiasm with what she was doing. I said, you know, that's exactly the same kind of energy I have when I'm teaching martial arts. And I was inspired to take action based on her level of enthusiasm. You know, I love the study of etymology. So what that is the ability to take a look at the roots of words. And if you look up the word enthusiasm, it comes from the Greek word entheos, which means to be possessed divinely by God. And so it's that energy that we put forth when we move into things enthusiastically that can be the absolute game changer. And the thing about enthusiasm that I've learned is it's not necessarily something that happens to us from the outside that we respond to, but it's something that's generated from the inside that we then share out in the world and helps us really get the energy moving on the course that we want to achieve. So what I'd like to share with you are 4 ways that we can generate enthusiasm, to use it powerfully in our own lives, in our businesses, in our relationships, to make sure we can break through to where we want to be. And number 1 is to visualize with enthusiasm. You know, one of the things that I've noticed, particularly in my life as an athlete, particularly in Taekwondo, is that the difference in performance between certain people when I was competing didn't really have so much to do with physical skill. Everyone was physically gifted at the highest levels I was competing at. The difference was visualization, was being able to visualize the experience productively before we ever stepped in the ring. And what I found in the idea of visualization, it's just not a mental rehearsal, but it's something we do with all of our feelings involved, right? So if it's something that you want to manifest in your life, whether it's a job, a relationship, a healthful way of being, when we do that with enthusiasm, there's a much greater chance that we're going to be able to manifest and attract that in our lives. So number 1 is to visualize with enthusiasm. Number 2 is to plan with enthusiasm. You know, I really believe that so many of the things that we do in our lives, we don't have success in because we fail to properly plan, particularly planning for the obstacles when they arise. But when you plan and you start to look at what possibilities are and you put the energy of enthusiasm into your plan, now what happens is it gets injected with this energy. So even when obstacles occur, you have basically this backfill that's going to continue to move you forward. So planning with enthusiasm is so important. Number next is to speak with enthusiasm. You know, I love the quote. It's, no one can do it for you, but you can't do it alone. And I want you to think about times in your life when you were maybe meeting someone for the first time, but they were so enthusiastic about what they were up to, the plans they were into, the charity they were supporting, the job they were doing, the relationship they were in. They were so enthusiastic about it that you couldn't help become excited about it as well. And so much of what we do in life has to do with enrolling others so that we can get their help to move us forward. And when we are speaking with enthusiasm about something that we've got going in our lives, particularly areas where we're looking for support in, what happens is the enrollment process with other people can become so much easier. I love the thing that I heard Simon Sinek say long ago. He was talking about Martin Luther King giving his speech, his I Have a Dream speech. And he said 250,000 people weren't on the United States Mall listening to King deliver his I Have a Plan speech. He was talking about his I Have a Dream speech, and it was the enthusiasm that he spoke with it that gave it all of the juice that transformed so many lives. And then number four is to act with enthusiasm. Act with enthusiasm. You know, on the road to mastery, there are so many things that we have to do on a daily basis. And oftentimes those things can become very rote and very stale. But what the master understands is that he or she needs to approach even the things that they've done a million times with a level of enthusiasm, approaching it as if they've never done it before, with that beginner mind, with that beginner enthusiasm. And when we do, even the small things, even the mundane things that we've practiced thousands of times become exciting, and we can inspire others to do those things in the same way. So there you have it, my friend. Where do you have an opportunity to inject enthusiasm into your life, into your business, into your relationships, into the self-talk that you're speaking to yourself each and every day? Are you willing to visualize with enthusiasm, plan with enthusiasm, speak with enthusiasm, and then finally, and probably most importantly, act with enthusiasm? So this has been Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching. If you like this, please share it, please comment, and go out there this week and act and be with enthusiasm so you can have the breakthroughs you deserve. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.